This is Scott Carlberg, Product Marketing Manager for the Motion products here at Yaskawa. And today I'm going to talk about Sigma 7, which we are launching as of today. So really I just want to give you an overview of what this product line is that we're launching. So this is what we're going to discuss today. We're just going to talk about what specifically are the new products that we're releasing. So Sigma 7 is the next generation of servo motors and amplifiers from Yaskawa. We're really excited about this product family. It's been in the works for a long time. You know, I've personally been working on this product line in the background here for a couple of years, just kind of getting everything together so that we can launch it here in the Americas. So there are a lot of really exciting features and benefits of this product line. I'm just going to touch on some of them here today. But in general, we've got significantly improved performance with the Sigma 7. So the bandwidth on the amplifiers is roughly double what it was with Sigma 5. Easily the highest performance from the standpoint in the industry with 3.1 kilohertz bandwidth for the velocity loop. We've increased the feedback resolution to 24-bit absolute, which is, I believe that's just a bit above 15 million pulses per revolution when you calculate that out, that 24-bit. And so with all this extra information coming from the feedback device and with the amplifier's ability to process it much faster, all of the algorithms within the amplifiers are significantly improved, and that being the tuning performance, the vibration suppression. There's a couple new algorithms with Sigma 7 that we'll get into, but there's a friction compensation model to deal with all different types of frictional loads. There's a new velocity ripple compensation to deal with motor cogging. So easier application, the tuning list function, which is the adaptive tuning algorithm, can now account for load to rotor inertia mismatches up to 30-1. And there's also a new version of Sigma Win Plus. It's a little bit easier to navigate through. It's kind of got a different, it's a little bit different user interface, different front end with some additional capability built into it, but we can get into that. From more choices standpoint, there are dual axis servo packs with Sigma 7. So you've got a full line of single axis amplifiers, just like with Sigma 5 from 50 watts all the way up to 15 kilowatts. And then we also have dual axis amplifiers up to 1 kilowatt per axis. So those are, I think there's 4 different sizes: 200 watt, 400 watt, 750 watt, and 1 kilowatt per axis in those dual axis units. So I think that's going to be a great new product for us. From an environmentally friendly standpoint, got some new functionality. You got some bus sharing specifically on those dual axis amplifiers where, you know, it's a dual axis with a single power supply. So you've got bus sharing in there, and also some other bus sharing capability in the single axis amps. The systems in general are more efficient than previous generation product. And again, that has to do with the feedback resolution, the accuracy, a higher level of accuracy in the actual encoders that we use. And then the amplifier's ability to process all the information quickly and more efficiently kind of drastically hit the overall efficiency of the system itself. Decreases of motor temperature, another benefit of all the things I've talked about. And then with Sigma 7, as far as sealing, all the rotary motors will have an IP67 seal on them. I think half of the Sigma 5 motors were only IP65, so we've increased on all the motors up to IP67. As we've done with previous generation product, this new generation of motors is smaller. They all will have backwards compatible flanges and shaft diameters, but the motors get shorter in length, 20% on average shorter. So significant increases in torque per volume on the motors. And then get the dual axis amplifier, which I'll show you a little bit here in the slides. That's going to save you a lot of space in your panel if you can utilize those dual axis servo packs. The safety circuit that's integrated into the amplifiers, just as it was in Sigma 5, is now has been up. The safe torque off circuit has been upgraded to a SIL 3 level of safety. It was SIL 2 on Sigma 5, so that's been improved. And then just as we've done ever since releasing Sigma 2, we've made the products backwards compatible to the previous generation of product. So, the motors have the same flange size, the same pilot, the same shaft diameter and shaft length as the previous generation product. Amplifiers essentially have the same mounting and footprint. So we design everything to be backward compatible, so that if you are an existing Yaskawa customer and you're trying to upgrade to the next generation product, it should be very easy and straightforward. So just to get into a little more detail on the motors themselves, for rotary motors, there are going to be 4 different product lines. The SGM 7A is the low inertia series motor, and this, if everybody's familiar with the Sigma 5 product line, this motor line replaces both the SGM AV and the SGM SV. So the low inertia product all the way up to 7 kilowatts. The SGM 7J is the medium inertia, small capacity. So that'll replace the SGM JV motor from Sigma 5. There's an SGM 7P, which is the short fat style motor, the P style motor, which our previous generation was actually a Sigma 2 motor, SGM PH. So there's a new generation motor that will replace those older Sigma 2 motors. The SGM 7G replaces the Sigma 5 SGM GV, and those are 300 watt all the way up to 15 kilowatt. We are also going to have a gear motor line with Sigma 7. We did not have a gear motor line with Sigma 5, but we did have a gear motor offering way back with Sigma 2. So we've definitely done our research on this, and this gear motor line is going to be a really solid product line. I can't wait to give you guys some more details. But we're going to have gear heads, coupled to our standard motors for all 4 of these series of rotary motors, and these ratios that you see here: 3, 5, 10, 25, and 50 to 1. We will have the ability to do custom gear motors as well, as in, if you need a right angle gear head, or if you need a specific ratio, we can do those sorts of things, after we've kind of validated the opportunity and the quantities and that sort of thing. But that'll be something that we're open to as well. But really excited about a gear motor line. I think there's a ton of new business out there that we can go tackle with this product. There's also going to be a new line of direct drive motors that are significantly smaller than the direct drive motors that we have on the market right now. In general, they are, given the same torque, they're going to be 1 frame size smaller than they are right now in the existing SGM CS line. So this SGD 7F is the first iteration, the first grouping of sizes for this direct drive line, but and that'll be 4 newton meter to 25 newton meter. Eventually, we're going to expand that to the full line of direct drive motors. There'll be a Sigma 7 equivalent to those. So really excited about that too. We've already had a ton of opportunities where we're looking to fit those products into. With regard to the amplifiers, as I mentioned, there is a single axis and a dual axis version of this. For the single axis, there is a 100 volt and a 200 volt input, just like there is with the Sigma 5 products. Your control interfaces will be Mechatronic 3, EtherCAT, and Analog Pulse. And then the same with Sigma 5, we'll have the options, the MP2600 single axis controller, your advanced safety option module, which gives you safe limited speed, or safe stop 1 or safe stop 2, those additional safety modes. And then there's the full closed loop card, which allows you to close your position loop around a secondary encoder. The dual axis amps, as I mentioned, those are going to be 200 volt from 200 watt up to 1 kilowatt, and those will be offered in a Mechatronic 3 control interface. I'm guessing a lot of you will have questions about 400 volt systems, as there isn't any reference to 400 volt on any of these slides. We will be coming out with a 400 volt Sigma 7 product series, and that'll probably be you'll begin seeing things about that later this calendar year. But that's kind of still in the works, and it'll be a subsequent launch here. One thing that we will have for 400 volt is, though, right off the bat, we're going to have 400 volt Sigma 7 motors that are 1 kilowatt and below, and we'll be pairing those with the Sigma 5 400 volt amplifiers. So this layout here that you have on your screen is from one of our new product literature pieces, and this is an infographic that describes all of the products as they exist right now for, regardless of what motor type and voltage and amplifier type that you need. And when I show you later the website, there's a portion of the website where you can go in and it looks just like this, and you can just click on exactly where you want to go, what motor type you want to go to, or what amplifier type. But this just gives you an idea of the specific products in each category that are available right now. As far as product lifecycle management goes, I feel that eScout has really done a good job with lifecycle management over the years. This is now the fifth generation of Sigma product that started out, in the early 90s. We have done a really good job supporting our customers with the older products and coming out with new products that drop right in place of the old products. So I think very rarely do we have problems in this area. But what I wanted to outline here is that, number one, Sigma 5 is still going to be around for a long time. I've got Sigma 5 tailing off in the range of 2023, generally, when we send that off to service and repair and then eventually discontinue it. Sigma 7, we've got, starting right now, and, we're designing around a 10-year product cycle for these large product series. So again, Sigma 7 is going to be around for a long time as well, and this is kind of how that lays out. There's also going to be a new suitcase style demo for Sigma 7, and this is what it looks like. So you've got a very compact package here with 3 100 watt motors. 2 of them are facing each other, which you can see, and we've got kind of little dial indicators on the outside of the flywheel that you can do some camming features with, and a lot of cool stuff. And then there's a third motor that comes out of the demo with a flywheel. And then there's a 2-axis amp, a single axis amp, an MP3300 controller, and then some Ethernet I/O slices on the unit as well. A lot of things that you can do with this demo. I'm hoping to get these out in the field as quickly as possible, but I think you guys are going to be really happy with the new demo that we put together. Some other sales tools. So we've got a product flyer, which is kind of a 3-page fold-out, which has that infographic that I showed you on a previous slide. And then the piece just talks all about Sigma 7 specifically. We've also got a new version of our motion brochure, which has been updated with all the Sigma 7 products. So if you guys are familiar with the existing motion brochure, it's in the range of, I think it's like 28 to 30 pages. We've added a few pages of that to include Sigma 7. So that is available now as well. We also have a technical supplement, which is about a 300 and some page document that gives really all of the the hardcore technical details, all the catalog data, all the speed torque curves, the CAD drawings, all that sort of thing are all in this technical supplement, which I'll show you where you can find that as well. And then we're also working on an e-learning module that, a e-learning video actually that'll show all the features and benefits of the Sigma 7 products as well. So a lot of new pieces that I'd like you guys to go and take a look at when you get a chance here, and I'll show you where you can find all that on the website. So if you come onto the main Yaskawa.com website, if you go under products, you'll see Sigma. There's a whole new Sigma 7 section: servo packs, rotary motors, direct drive motors, linear, and then software tools. And then also there's a new section called choosing a servo, which I alluded to earlier. But so I go into this choose a servo. This kind of there's a new section on the website. It kind of leads you through where to find really the information that you need more quickly. So if you have an idea of what type of product you need for your application, you just click on that. So say I seen a rotary motor. It kind of mirrors the product literature that we just created with that infographic. So kind of look at this and decide what type of motor technology you might want to start looking at. And we'll just say we want to look at these P-style, SGM P-style motors from 100 watt to... Anyways, so here's the product page of the SGM 7P. And then on here, you've got all of the, traditional information that you have with a motor product line. You've got access to the flyer here that I mentioned, the new motion brochure, the technical supplement is right here for download. And then there's also a transition guide from Sigma 5 to Sigma 7 if you want to take a look at that. And then also here you've got just some general information about the product. You've got access to the software, which is Sigma Select is our sizing software. Sigma Win Plus version 7 is the new version of the configuration software, which includes support of Sigma 7. And you've got all of your access to all your drawings and supporting documents are on here. If I go over here to drawings, one nice thing that we've done with the drawings, just realizing that sometimes it can be very difficult to find the drawing that you need here on the website. We've made these tables that kind of lay out the motor part number and then a little bit of information about these specific motor part numbers and then just links to the individual drawings, the 2D and the 3D drawings. There are a bunch of NAs not applicable right now, but we'll be filling these in over the next couple weeks here for the ones that aren't available. But anyways, so there's that. So all of the information that you need really to support and to start selling Sigma 7 is up on the website right now. I'd encourage you to go in and start looking at some of this information. Pull down the new motion brochure and take a look at it. Pull down the technical supplement, start to look at that. So there's a question about the gear motors. Whose gearbox are we going to be using? We're working with a Japanese gearhead vendor named Shimpo. I'm actually really excited about Shimpo. They're very solid from a quality and from a performance standpoint, and also from a pricing standpoint. We're going to be very competitive with these gear motors out in the industry. So their headquarters are right near us here in Chicagoland, but really good company. There were a couple questions about direct drive motors. So the SGM 7F is the new Sigma 7 direct drive motor. Those are actually going to be launched a little bit later this year, probably in a couple months. And there was also a question about SGM CV, which some of you guys have been exposed to. So the SGM 7F is the Sigma 7 version of the SGM CV. So we're not formally going to release the SGM CV. We're going to jump right to the Sigma 7 version, the SGM 7F. And it comes equipped with a 24-bit multi-turn absolute feedback device. And it's the same physical size and performance as the SGM CV for those of you who had seen that. Question about the advanced safety module. The advanced safety module is it's actually the same option module that we use on Sigma 5. It's also the Sigma 7 amplifiers are also able to accommodate that option card for the other safety modes, your safe limited speed and so forth. So there's questions about the dual axis amplifier. The dual axis amplifier is only offered in a Mechatronic 3 interface. There's not an EtherCAT version of that, so it'll just be Mechatronic 3. There's a question about the MP2600 IEC option for the Sigma 7 series. There is going to be that same option module card will be used with the Sigma 7 amplifiers, the same one that we use with the Sigma 5 amplifiers. Question about amplifiers with regard to driving rotary and linear motors. One nice feature with Sigma 7 is you don't need a separate amplifier part number to drive a linear motor versus a rotary motor. We've gone back to the architecture where one amplifier will drive any type of motor, whether it be linear, rotary, or direct drive. Question about Sigma Logic. There will be a next generation of Sigma Logic that will be sold with the Sigma 7. And how did we make the motors 20% smaller? A few different things. One thing is just packing more copper into each of the slots inside of the stator. but also kind of continuing to optimize the magnetics and the magnetic flux path of the system itself. But yeah, a few different design techniques that we've kind of used to do that over the years to continue to reduce the size. But again, I'll get more into detail on that when we get together. Question about the 2300 with the Sigma 5 and when or if will these products be phased out? The answer is no, those products are not going to be phased out. The MP2300 IEC and the Sigma 5 product line, those are going to be around for a long time to come. So those products are going to maintain on Mechatronic 2, and we're going to continue to sell those to existing customers for a long time. What we're going to be asking is for new opportunities. We're going to want to look at the MP3000 series IEC controls with Mechatronic 3 and then the new Sigma 7 amplifiers. I think that's about all I want to cover right now. So I appreciate the questions. That's what I have for you today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.